The delivery should be spaded. 4-star soldiers, Jin muttered, his low voice almost blending with the whistling wind. Meanwhile, my swordsmanship is only at 3 stars, magic at 4 stars, and dark magic release at 3 stars. This development speed is good, but in the current situation, I can't confront all of them at once. Since my top priority now is to rescue Mesa, I will try to avoid combat as much as possible and focus on finding her. Having made his decision, Jin held out his hand. A stream of emerald green energy began to swirl, emitting an ethereal glow in his palm. Terrain scan. Immediately, a massive blue energy grid spread out from Jin's feet, sweeping over the rugged ground and ancient tree trunks. The entire forest within a certain range seemed to be digitized, appearing vividly in his mind. Not stopping there, he continued to exert his power. And if I add wind tracking magic to this, a stronger turquoise magical wind surged from Jin's hand, gliding like an invisible snake, weaving through every bush and blade of grass. The energy quickly found a faint trace, winding through the dense forest. Towards the grassland, the green energy trace glided just above the ground, guiding Jin. They haven't gone far yet. Realizing this, his eyes flashed sharply. Without hesitation, Jin shot forward, his body like an arrow tearing through the tranquil night, following the magical path that led the way. The delivery shot through the dense forest when suddenly a volley of sharp arrows flew towards Jin. The pursuers roared, "It's a Runcandel disciple! Capture him!" The group of assassins immediately charged. Unfazed, Jin placed his hand on his sword, and a mystical green energy began to gather. He swung his sword, creating a sweeping arc of energy that hurled the attackers away. Amidst the chaos, one exclaimed in surprise, "Magic? How can a Runcandel use magic?" The leader, his face contorted with rage, bellowed, "Damn it, kill him already!" Then furiously lunged at Jin. Jin calmly raised his sword, a clang echoing as he easily parried his opponent's powerful slash, making him halt and gasp, "Gulp!" Suddenly, a cloaked mage appeared from the shadows, surrounded by blazing fire. He yelled, "Stand back, Mills!" A colossal fireball was shot directly at Jin, illuminating a corner of the forest. Facing the fierce flames, Jin did not retreat. The phoenix heart Jin consumed as a child granted him complete fire resistance. Jin spun around, delivering a decisive sword strike. Mills had no time to react. His body was sent flying backward, fresh blood splattering in the air, his face showing only extreme horror. The fierce flame erupted, roaring towards Jin like a wild beast. However, the attack of the brown-robed mage was easily blocked, stunning him for a moment. His astonishment quickly turned into extreme rage. He roared, his voice full of resentment, "Damn it! If fire doesn't work, then I'll destroy you with ice!" Saying this, he switched his magic. The scorching hot air suddenly became bone-chilling. A barrage of massive, sharp ice spears formed from thin air, hurtling towards Jin at terrifying speed. They tore through the night, carrying deadly cold, seemingly capable of crushing everything in their path. Facing the icy onslaught, Jin remained motionless, his cold expression unwavering. The gem on his chest glowed faintly with a soft blue light. Strangely, as the ice spears neared Jin, they simultaneously shattered into countless tiny fragments, scattering onto the ground like late snowflakes without touching even a single strand of his hair. The mage was stunned, his eyes wide with disbelief at what he had just witnessed. He stammered in utter horror, "Impossible! How can it be? My magic!" A splatter of fresh red blood stained the gnarled branches under the cold moonlight, bringing an end to the mage's desperate words. In the quiet forest, Jin stood, his sword still faintly glowing with magical light. His eyes coldly swept over the fallen enemies, a thought forming in his mind. Those Kinzello bastards, it seems they have no intention of hiding their tracks. They are underestimating me, thinking I am inexperienced in real combat. "The delivery should have met their accomplices here and left by carriage," he murmured, his sharp eyes following the trail. He stood up straight, his blue eyes reflecting deep contemplation amidst the silent scenery. "Kinzello is an organization with a clear hierarchy. They will likely divide the spoils according to rank within the group. Since they wouldn't dare touch spoils designated for a high-ranking individual, this is my only chance to safely rescue Mesa." Jin unrolled the map, his finger pointing to a marked area. "Since I'm near the beastfolk territory, their base is probably nearby too. If so, I'll create a diversion and chaos to find an opportunity to rescue Mesa. A bold plan was laid out. He raised his hand, and magical energy began to converge. A dazzling fireball ignited in his palm, radiating intense heat and illuminating the night forest. Without hesitation, Jin swung his hand, unleashing his full power. A colossal sea of flames roared, engulfing trees and spreading with terrifying speed, transforming the tranquil night into a blazing inferno. By doing this, they'll surely have to come out to put out the fire. Just as he predicted, from the base engulfed in flames, panic screams echoed. "It's on fire! How could this happen so suddenly?" The night was torn apart by fierce flames devouring the building, painting the sky red. Amidst the chaotic scene, desperate screams echoed. "Where did the fire come from? Put it out! And water! Bring water here quickly!" Hidden in the shadows, Jin Runcandel silently observed the panic he had caused. The flickering firelight illuminated his cold face. A large, muscular man, seemingly the leader, roared furiously at his subordinates. "You useless fools! Don't you know how to properly put out a fire? Where are the mages? Use your water and ice magic! Hurry! Bring the mages here now!" Is he the leader? Jin thought to himself, his eyes not leaving the man. Despite the crowd's efforts, the fire raged even more fiercely. A frantic subordinate ran up to report, "Boss, the fire can't be put out." The leader roared, his anger slowly turning into doubt and horror. "Do you actually think the fire spontaneously erupted in this weather? Someone must have caused this. Find him." His words were abruptly cut short. Jin had stealthily approached from behind, a ghost in the sea of flames. With a swift strike, the leader only managed a pained "ah" before collapsing to the ground. Standing over the leader's body, Jin calmly held up the retrieved keys. "Good, I've found a way in," he thought with satisfaction, then quickly vanished into a hidden passage. The creaking sound of a door opening. Inside, the atmosphere was a stark contrast to the heat outside. A wave of cold air enveloped Jin. It's so cold. Where could Mesa be? He wondered, his sharp eyes scanning the dimly lit room. His attention was drawn to a wooden trapdoor on the floor. A basement? Jin cautiously stepped closer. From beneath the trapdoor, a faint rustling sound emerged, followed by a fleeting glimpse of long pink hair gently swaying. In a dark, dusty room, Jin called her name aloud. Hearing the familiar voice, Mesa, who was sitting on the floor with her hands tied behind her, looked up with surprise. "Master," she quickly spoke, her panic and worry evident in her voice. "Why are you here? This place is very dangerous." Jin stepped closer, his face still calm. "Don't worry about me. Can you walk?" Mesa looked down at her feet, hesitantly replied, "Yes, but I don't think I can run." "All right, I'll help you up," Jin said, and quickly cut the rope binding her hands tightly. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed from above, startling both of them. What was that sound? Jin sharply looked up, alert. Helping Mesa to her feet, Jin draped an arm over her shoulder to support her weak body. As they stumbled forward, Mesa suddenly whispered, "Master, can you promise me one thing?" "Don't speak anymore, Mesa," Jin curtly interrupted, only wanting to escape quickly. But Mesa resolutely continued, her voice trembling but resolute. "If we fall into a truly dangerous situation, just leave me behind. You are too important to suffer misfortune here." Jin was silent for a moment at her loyal plea, then replied decisively, "Let's get out of here first. This place is dangerous." "Yes," Mesa softly replied, leaning in to Jin as they ascended the stairs together. As soon as they exited the basement, a horrifying sight met their eyes. The entire area had been transformed into desolate ruins, bodies strewn amidst broken bricks and rubble. A colossal hole in the ceiling showed the immense power of the battle that had just occurred. Jin was stunned, his eyes quickly scanning a deep claw mark on the body of a fallen soldier. This was caused by a beastman, and from a combat tribe no less. Jin mumbled, realizing the danger was far greater than he had imagined. Beside him, Mesa also remained silent, her face pale with fright. Amidst the deadly scene, a gigantic beastman warrior with pure white fur and a mighty battle axe stood towering, exuding an overwhelming aura. Mesa Milcano recognized the enemy's identity with horror, the White Wolf clan. Despite the power disparity, she urgently shouted to Jin, "Young master, I'll buy you time, please hurry." Before she could finish, a brutal attack struck Mesa directly, sending her flying. She fell to the ground, her breath ragged, only managing to gasp her young master's name. The gigantic white wolf warrior clicked his tongue in contempt. Tch, a bunch of useless brats. If they can't even put out a flame, there's no reason to keep them alive. He turned, his icy gaze fixed on a figure that had just appeared, who was gently supporting Mesa. "You're the one who caused all this, aren't you, kid?" Amidst the hellish crimson scene, Jin Runcandel stood tall, the sword in his hand radiating a cold blue light, completely contrasting the surrounding sea of fire. He spoke, his voice echoing, sharp and authoritative. "Jin Runcandel, Beastman, state your name." That name struck the warrior like a lightning bolt. "Runcandel." Jin calmly replied, his gaze unwavering. "Yes, I am Chiron Runcandel's son." "You are one of the Runcandel descendants," he roared, his sharp teeth clenched, the initial shock quickly turning into fierce rage.